Well, hey guys, welcome out here to the shop once again. We gotta get going on that one. This one here's done. If you guys haven't seen this one, I'll put a link up there. And get this out of the way. We'll get that one brought over here. We'll lay a couple rags out so we don't make a mess all over this rubber mat. We'll see how well that KROIL did its job, or if we need to dig in there a little bit more. So let me get this out of the way. I'll show you guys in a second. Okay, well, we got our rag down, and I guess I should have said something about that bar stock engine. It's not done, but I mean, we know that it runs really well, but I still need to pull the flywheels off, and I'll show you guys how to drill and tap those so you can put a set screw in. Let's take a look at this one, and you guys remember that it was locked up. It wouldn't even turn, and when we go to turn it, the flywheel itself would slip on the crank, so we know that we had an issue. We're probably going to make a mess dumping this KROIL out, but well, keep this rag down. You guys can see down in here, and it's there. But it does have a tight spot, but it does roll over. Nice. All right. Well, I'll set that there. I'll get you guys pulled in a little bit closer, and we're going to start tearing it apart because, well, you guys know that we can't have oil inside of these. You can oil up here, but not down in the cylinder. So let me get you guys reconfigured so you can see what we're doing. We'll rip it apart, degrease everything, make sure everything is good, and hopefully tonight we can make this little fella run. So, all right, let me get you guys situated. Well, that's kind of an odd view for you guys to see, but hopefully you guys can watch what we're doing. So by looking at this cylinder here is held on to this base with just one little set screw right here. So we'll start by getting it off of its base. The screw will come loose. And once again, guys, I'm pretty sure this was made by PM Research. If it's not made by them, well, a lot of the parts were probably sourced through them. So, oh yeah, we're still getting, oh, look at the color of this stuff. I'll have to show you. Yeah, we had build up something in there, and I'm not sure why this was stuck, but that KROIL is some pretty amazing stuff. I don't know if you guys have used it or not, but I'll tell you what, you've got something that's stuck or giving you fits. Oh, that stuff can work miracles. All right, well, let's pull our main caps off here, and we're going to see what we got to do to get, because I'm not sure what holds our cylinder into our frame here, but if it looks like everything should pass through between our main supports. I'll get these off. We'll pull that out, hopefully. We'll take a look at it and see what we've got, see if we have any witness marks as to why this didn't want to roll all the way over. Or maybe it just got stuck from sitting. Who knows? Perhaps the guy who had this did oil it and it quit running. And he said, well, I guess since it doesn't run, I'll just let it sit. And then that oil gummed up. But who knows? Let's get these caps off of here. Guys, we've got roller bearings. That one wants to stay on. We'll leave him on that bearing, then that way we don't know. That's a little bit different. Multiple piece crank, but so what'd you guys think about that bar stock engine? I think it turned out pretty nice. And once again, I mean, that's one of those projects that was just a project. But if somebody else wants to own it, you know, tell me down below. Make it happen. All right, well, it did pull out through the top. Set this here and you guys get to watch the There wasn't a whole lot on the bottom. It was enough to seep through. I don't know how well you guys will be able to see down in there. Probably not worth a dang. But it doesn't look bad to me. We'll check it out a little bit more. Let's look at our pistons here. Kind of an interesting configuration on this crank. And I understand why it is a two-piece crank. Because if you have to replace any of these parts, you got to break the crank anyhow. So, kind of neat. All right, well, since we had everything turning, let's take a look at our pistons here. Focus. We do have a bit of a wear line here. We have it opposite it. Also, 180 out. We have that same wear line. So, all right. Well, I will set all this stuff down, get you guys resituated, and we'll degrease it, make sure everything looks good. And guys, I think it's going to be a short video. Hopefully, we'll have a running engine. I guess we'll have to wait to see, though, won't we? All right. You guys be able to see what we're doing? So I just got some denatured alcohol on here. We're going to use that to clean this KROIL off because, well, once again, we don't need lubrication down inside. I showed you guys on what happens. We got a little bit of crud, and I think that is buildup oil residue from the previous owner oiling it. But like I was saying, I have shown you guys what happens if you oil one of these little engines. They just don't like it, and they'll just up and quit on you. That's it. And they'll run and slow down and slow down and slow down, and no matter how much heat you throw at it, you can't get them to run again. Take them apart and do exactly what I'm doing here. Clean them all out, get all the oil residue, make sure you get them good and clean. Let all that there. It's an interesting configuration how we have our displacer and our power piston. They ride inside of one another. Pretty impressive. So we'll set that off to the side, and I guess I won't subject you guys to this, but I will fill this cylinder up with denatured alcohol and let it sit there and eat away at that KROIL, and then we'll spray it out. Make sure it's good and clean. Guys, it's, I guess, hopefully a running engine here soon. All right, let me get this cleaned out too. Well, there you go. Clean and degreased. You guys still can't see down inside there, but it's clean and degreased. There, maybe you can see that. All right. And while that was sitting there soaking, I did take our displacer piston, cleaned it up with 3/0 steel wool, and gave it a quick polish. If this thing will focus, there. So that feels a whole lot better now. And all right, well, let's get our base here. We'll get our cylinder assembly mounted back to it. You guys probably won't get to see this. I'll get you guys moved again. Well, there. You guys can't see the whole base, but trust me, the bottom's down there. So let's get our cylinder assembly back in here. Nice. All right. Well, get the other half of our crankshaft over here. And, I was thinking about it. This may benefit from a drop of green Loctite, because that's a spot that's going to waller, and we don't want that. But before we put our pistons back into our cylinder assembly, we need to lubricate them. To lubricate those, we're going to use this molybdenum sulfide. I don't know if you guys have seen me use it before. This stuff, yeah, it's pretty impressive things. It's, well, I guess the best analogy would be this is to powdered graphite what KROIL is to WD-40. This is just slick as snot on a June bug. So I'll get that on there. We'll start getting this assembled. And you guys will see me when we drop this back in because, well, I've got polish on my hands from cleaning that displacer. But yeah, it's going to get everywhere. You guys will see me with even filthier hands in just a second. There you go. Filthy hands. Remember how this was black? And now how it's nice and shiny silver? Some pretty good stuff right here, guys. Let me get this back in here. Get this lined up. Get our little bushing back on. Drop this guy back down in there. Nice. Oh, look at that. That's just that's a good seal. Nice. Let me get this. Let me get this off my hands. Well, a shop rag, one of these. You guys can see how much is on there. I still look like the damn Tin Man. That's some good stuff. Hopefully Dawn dish detergent will clear the rest of that off of me. We'll set this back in here. And they do self-align. I think that's probably why they have, I'll show you, 2 bearings on here. Get up there and focus. There. They have 2 bearings. With 2 bearings set that far apart, they can't cock side to side. Set that back in there. We'll get our caps back on the top. And I've got 2 different little alcohol lamps here from PM Research. You can see the difference in the height of them. But I think what we're going to run into is the length of our stem isn't quite long enough to get to the center of this. So we may have to modify that. I've got a shell from one of my 357s. We may take it and make it longer, and then we'll solder it on, pull our wick out. But maybe we'll do something different, put a gas burner on this one. Who knows yet? So, all right, quit yapping and get this put together. Okay, guys, it's all assembled. We do need to tighten down our cylinder assembly to the base. And remember, our flywheels were slipping. We'll make sure that those are snugged up too. Okay. Get this rag out of the road. We'll set this guy right here and check it. We do have a full free range of motion. And I'd like to say that you can feel compression. I guess it is compression, but not like we normally think of with a gas engine. So, all right. Let me take, we'll use this one just to see. Put our cotton ball back in. Stand this stuff up. I'll fill this up with just denatured alcohol and let it soak in for a little bit. And then when you guys come back, get our door out of the road, we'll light this little guy on fire. We'll put it underneath. We'll see if we have a running engine or not. See if it was worth our effort and what it runs like. So let me get it filled up. Okay, guys, well, our little lamp is full of alcohol. We'll light it up. Yeah, you guys can see the flame. We got our little trap door open over here. We'll shove it underneath. Let it sit there and warm up. Yeah, it's not. I wish I could show you guys, but it needs to be longer. We're just hitting, from about here over. We're not heating the bottom of that thimble. So we'll let that warm up a little bit. See which direction this guy wants to go. Top heavy model. Need to make a base for it. And we're going to need to modify or improvise, come up with a better system. I don't think we're quite there yet. We'll let it warm up. Be long. I might high speed this so you guys don't have to watch it. Looks like some. Huh. Maybe we just need to wait a little bit longer. Maybe that flame should be a little bit more centralized because we are wasting a lot of our flame. Let's see if I can turn this where you guys can see in there. See how most of our flame is going up this side and not directly under our thimble? We could be wasting most of our heat just by heating up this base. And that base is right here on our cooling fins, so our temperature differential isn't quite exactly what we want. Because it tries. I mean, it wants to. Okay. All right, well, we gave that a shot. Let's come up with a different way to make this work. So I'm certain that it's going to run. All right, guys, well, I'm not going to lie to you. I scratched my head on this. I couldn't figure out why we couldn't get it to run. And I've taken it back apart. I cleaned everything. And I found oil down in our cylinder. And it was from when I oiled up here. And it ran down and it dripped in that cylinder. So all that sitting there flipping it over and flipping it over and it wouldn't run, that was my fault. I know better, but I haven't lied to you guys yet, and I ain't going to start now. I did have to take the whole damn thing apart again. And once again, it rolls over fine. And I did mount it to a board because I got tired of it just wanting to flop over all the time. So it's just mounted on a scrap of oak. And all right, well, you guys wanted to see this run. I want to show you. I put an O-ring behind this so it doesn't want to flop around. And see how much wick I've got sticking out here? Just that little bit. So we'll see. That burner, this lamp is still full. So there, just that little bitty flame. We're going to shove that underneath. Make sure I bump the camera several times, make you guys feel dizzy. We'll let it sit there and warm up. And I'll show you guys here in a second because I did have it running and it was all my fault. I had oil down in that cylinder and they do not like oil whatsoever. So I'll let that sit there and warm up. It shouldn't take too terribly long. So, all right, you guys will get to see it here. No sense in letting the camera roll and wasting your guys' time. You want to see an engine run? I promised we'd see it run. We will. All right, it's been about 3 minutes. Our base is warm. Our cylinder's fairly warm. So not a whole lot of moving parts to capture the imagination. But we took it from a locked up model to a running model. It runs really pretty well. And that's just with that, you guys seen that stubby little flame. And it's, once again, I mean, it's still riding just back here on that flame. The end of that's about here. So we're only catching 2/3 or a third of our thimble underneath. We blew our flame out. Well, there it is, guys. It is a running model again. I'll probably make it a nicer base for it, and we'll set it on the shelf. You guys want to see this again or have any questions? let me know, leave a comment underneath, and hit the thumbs up button. We'll see if we can get grow the channel a little bit more. Once again, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, and I don't know what we're going to work on next. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, all right. Thanks again, guys. I'll see you soon.